Hi, I'm Katy Auker with the Sondheim Society, and I'm here in Sheffield at the Crucible Theatre with Damian Humbley, who plays Harry, and Claire Price, who plays Sarah, in their production of Company. So how's the show going?
Good, good. We've got great reviews. People are coming to see it. The audiences love it every night. It's good. It's good fun. It's a great production of it.
And how long have you been working on it? Because it opened quite recently, didn't it?
We had 4 weeks rehearsal, and then but a long week for doing our technical rehearsal, which is when we put it into the theatre. And then we've been doing it for a week and a half, haven't we?
Well, previous, This is the end of our week and a half.
First week of performance. Right. We opened on Monday night. Officially opened on Monday night. This is our first week of performance.
Brilliant. And what was the casting process like for such a kind of ensemble-led show? Were you kind of matched up, or did you,
I can speak from my point of view, and then perhaps you could speak from your
I
point
will
do. From what I understand is that there are only a few people seen for each role, because Jonathan, the director, had a very specific view of how he wanted each role to be cast. And I came in just after my last show finished. I came in to do a bit of work with Jonathan and Nigel, the musical director, and then I was told that it may take a couple of weeks because they have to find the right wife and the right pairs to go together. And so that was my experience of it. What was your experience?
My experience of it was I've worked with Jonathan before in a non-singing capacity in a classical production of The White Devil at the Chocolate Factory a long time ago. And so we had that relationship already, and he rang and said, would you like to come in and meet Nigel for it and sing a bit? And I didn't really think of myself in that way, so I was a bit anxious about it, but I went and had a fantastic morning with Nigel, our MD, just singing through some Sondheim. And I went back in and met them once again, and then it was all sort of agreed. And I think they talked about you. Certainly the second time I met them, they talked about you, so as my future husband, as it were. So that was, you were already in place.
Oh, right, I see.
And you're playing Sarah and Harry. How do you, what do you think of their relationship? Is it fun for you to perform?
Not really, no. This is awkward now because you find it fun and I don't.
I think it is fun. I think Sarah is it's a very passive-aggressive, very loving relationship. There's a lot of love in it. I think they might be the only couple that actually say that, where one says it to the other, that they
No, the next one does as well. David and Jenny said.
Oh yes, she says it. But it's not a word that is used a lot in a play that's about partnerships and relationships. And I think Sondheim says they're fondly competitive, Harry and Sarah, and they have this kind of sparry relationship that spills over into a kind of physical competition, which I think is good fun.
I completely disagree with every single point that Claire's made, but I let her think that that's the way we do it.
And did either of you have any karate experience before, or was this completely new to you?
No, stage fighting experience, but no karate experience. Swords, but no karate.
Yeah.
And have you found performing Sondheim very different from, other shows that you've been in, or is it, do you find that you have to use different techniques for his music and for his...
I find it a lot easier, to be honest. I think that because he writes in such a way that that is so specific to the point that it's such a lovely, the point he's trying to make, and it's such a lovely observation of people, that I think it's the words, the lyrics are written for a mouth to speak, and the music is written for a mouth to sing. So it's quite easy. I mean, musically there's a few things that are a little bit difficult that you have to get your head around, but as an ensemble anyway. But, I find his stuff a little bit easier than other things that you might have to manufacture.
I mean, I've never been in a musical before, so it's all been a learning curve for me.
Oh, right, really?
In terms of, expressing things through a song, whereas,
which after
Shakespeare,
you see the show,
speech would do.
Yeah.
But sometimes uses a song.
Yes, and after the show, you will be very surprised by that comment, because she's very, very good. Very musically inclined.
And what can we expect from, for people who may have seen the show before, is this production, quite different in its approach, or is it, can we expect kind of a radical...
I've never seen a production of it, so you might know.
I've only seen one production, that was a few years back. I think there's nothing that's kind of done radically. I think it's just done to perfection. It's perfectly set in the 1970s. It's set so beautifully in its style, in its approach. Every person has been cast perfectly for every role. I think it's kind of a perfect production. I don't think it's groundbreaking. I think it's what the show should be. So maybe that is groundbreaking.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think the feeling I get from people who do know the musical well and who've seen this is that this is a very real interpretation of it. So like you say, it's set very much in the 70s. The set is very real. We look kind of ridiculously 70s, but I think there was an intention very much from Jonathan to try to really find out what the heart of it is, what it's really about. Really about. That's one of the lines. And I think that's what comes across. It's very felt.
Has Sondheim been involved at all in the creative process, or?
Dan's worked with Sondheim.
Yeah, they're
quite
quite in touch quite a lot, and I think they've sort of chatted about stuff, but I don't know that he's actually had any input really.
That's interesting. And do you think that there's going to be any kind of future for this production? Do you think it will be going to the West End, or
Who knows?
Who knows?
Actors never speculate on that.
From the very beginning, it's been told that this is a Sheffield production. You know, it's perfectly made for that stage, for this crowd, for this audience, and
This is the best theatre in the country, Crucible. So I've been in productions that have transferred from here, and it's always slightly odd to try and fit them into another space because the Crucible is such an unusual, fantastic space, and it blooms in there, doesn't it? It really does. So, but you know, who knows?
Okay, brilliant. Well, when is the show running until? When can people catch
January
it?
the 7th.
January the 7th. So get down to Sheffield before January the 7th, so you can see this production of Company. Thank you so much.
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us.